Okay, well, we're going to get started. Thank you, everybody who's in person and online for your attendance. I'm Abby, one of the Troy Hill Citizens Board members. This is our every other month community meeting. We're going to talk about a couple neighborhood updates. We're also going to talk about some updates from the city and from the county. So I'm actually going to dive right in with, I see Natasha on the line from Sarah Inamorato's office. I think we're going to start there if that's okay, if she can give us some updates on her end. Oh, maybe not.
Hello.
Yep, we can hear you.
Hello. I'm Natasha from Office of State Rep Sarah Innamorato, and it's a very busy month for us. Like first thing to share, tomorrow we have a blood drive in Lawrenceville. If you would like to join, we can share that information with you like later. We have a lot of meetings this month, attend a lot of events. Rep Innamorato is in Harrisburg this week. So we are waiting for some updates from her when she is back. But in general, like we are in the office doing a lot of PTRR, bus passes, unemployment cases, all that stuff.
Okay. And remind us all where your office is these days.
Our main office is in Lawrenceville. It's 5154 Butler Street. And we are there from 9 to 4:30 every day except for Friday. On Friday, we have a short summer hours until 12. And 2 days per week, we have our satellite office in Scheller. We are there from 9 to 4:30 as well on every Tuesday and every Thursday.
Great, thank you. I don't think we actually have anything for Rep Inamorato's office. Anybody have any call outs for Natasha that she can take back? Anybody online? I started with her because I thought it would be an easy one. Okay, great. Natasha, if you want to stay on, you can listen. Otherwise, I'm happy to send you any questions or other things that come up after the meeting.
Okay, I probably will stay on. Yeah.
Great. Okay, look at my agenda. So next, I think I saw, let's see, I saw Officer DeFeo on, but I don't see him on at the moment. Well, he comes back. I know we have some questions about that. Let's see. The next thing I want to talk about, let's see, Lisa isn't on anymore at this point yet. That's fine. Okay. I see Julianne on from Councilman Wilson's office. Julianne, do you have any updates from the councilman's office that you would like to share at this moment?
I don't have any specific updates, but I just want to, and I know this group especially is very interested in the capital budget season that's coming up. So I just wanted to mention that that has begun with the mayor's office and will soon be a focus of council. So if there are budget requests that you want to see our office put forth in the capital budget proposal for 2024, we have till July 1st to submit those. So please send them to me and I can forward them over to the councilman so we can review and make those requests as we see fit. So that's really the only thing I have to share.
Great. That actually is a great segue. So thank you to everybody who did the capital budget survey. We were pounding the pavement about that. In particular, we were talking about Cali Rec Center. I think most people here are familiar with that project. If you're not, you can stay after. I'm happy to fill you in all the nitty-gritty details. But on that topic, I think we have Lindsay from the mayor's office, and Lindsay and I had emailed a couple, back and forth earlier or this week. We were hoping for an update, Lindsay, on the RFP process specifically for Cali Rec Center. Would you mind chiming in here?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Lindsay. I'm from the mayor's office. I don't know how many of you, like Abby said, or I'm sorry, are you Abby? I can't see very well. Yeah, hi. Okay. Are a little bit aware of like the rec center and kind of where it's at right now. So I'm here mostly to share also community announcements in general throughout the city from the mayor's office. Unfortunately, I don't have the answers to the questions that you just sent, JP. So we're still trying to work on those to get those to you. There's a little echo.
Yeah, hold on. Let me mute somebody. There you go. Okay, go ahead.
But we are working on getting those to you. The only, I guess, update that I have to share in regards to the rec center is that they do have a vendor selected that they're working with as of now. But you know, our team's still trying to come up with the answers to send them all together that you sent over to us.
Got it. Can I clarify, when you say vendor, do you mean a vendor for the RFP process? This obviously isn't a vendor necessarily for the actual construction or rebuilding of the facility. Pre-part process?
I'm sorry, you out. I think there's someone else unmuted. Sorry.
Sorry, let me try that again. Do you, for the vendor, is the vendor part of the RFP process specifically? Is that who like, what's the vendor doing? I'm not sure if what the vendor might be involved with.
So JP only gave me that. No, I think there's more details in the back end that they have to you know, respond to your answers with. They just, you know, wanted to send someone to let you know that we are working on it. So once JP has those answers to me in our exec board, I mean, I've seen the responses that he gives you. They're very thorough and good. So yeah, once he has those to me or to you, we can talk more about that.
I see a caller with a raised hand. Ben, you want to speak up?
Quite frankly, that's not a good enough answer. We've been given the runaround from the city for over a year now, and I'm not really sure what you're doing here if you're not going to give us the answers we need in this setting. And I'm sorry to be so blunt, but I've been this blunt with the past 3 people that have come from the city, and we've gotten the same response every single time. This rec center process has gone on for nearly 4 years, and to be told that I don't have an answer for that, I need to go talk to someone else, then that person needs to be here, or we need to have a number to contact that person, or we need to have some process to get to the bottom of what's happening here, because the current process is unacceptable and not working.
Sure. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, it's frustrating how sometimes things work very slowly. The person that we've been in Troy Hill has been in contact with is JP, who's our deputy mayor. And
Can we get JP here?
yeah, he has been to the past meetings. I don't know if
I know I've been at meetings with him, and there still haven't been answers from him as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's always happy to come. I'll let him know that you'd like him to come to the next meeting, or if there's a meeting before next month. And I'll let him know that you're requesting him, again, depending on his schedule, but I'll pass along that message.
We can move this meeting around to whatever works best for him. We just need someone that's here that actually has the answers to questions, because we keep getting sent people that can't answer the questions, and that's not how we need to work going forward.
Sure. Okay, perfect. That sounds good.
Lindsay, when you take this back, I think the other thing we would like to be very specific about is that the deputy mayor had provided us with a timeline. The RFP was supposed to have been issued, I believe, the end of March. I think this was to take about 30 days to write. So I think the other thing we would love is to see some proactive communication from your office. I understand, like, again, we're an all volunteer board, so you know, we would like to see some movement, you know, some emails being initiated on your end saying, hey, I have an update. Right now, I think, to echo Ben's point, it feels like we're kind of chasing, like we're having to do some chasing here, which again doesn't feel super great. Sorry, did you want to say something?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I was reading the emails, and I believe it was March when that was the timeline.
Yeah. So anybody have anything they want to add to this conversation? Any questions for Lindsay before we hear like general city updates? Yes, Morgan.
Question.
Yes, Sam.
Is the city of Pittsburgh still answering Bellevue on fires?
It should, but I can double check for you. Bellevue on fires, is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the city of Pittsburgh is answering fire calls in Bellevue. That's not a city, that's a borough. Why are we doing that?
I can double check for you. I mean, have you called our 311 line to ask about that?
3 times. I'm still waiting to get a call back 5 weeks ago.
All right, perfect. If you don't mind sharing your issue ticket number with me, and I can look up the status to those.
My question is, if there's a fire in Bellevue, who's going to protect Troy Hill?
So, Lindsay, I can, ask Sam for the ticket number after we get off the call.
Yeah, or just, I guess his phone number, just regular, any type of, contact information, I can look that up. It's easier with the ticket number, but
Can do. Okay, Sam, we can follow up on that.
Some pork. This.
They have no clue, we'll get back.
The computer.
But doesn't the different departments in the city speak?
Lindsay, we're hearing some additional feedback. I'm not sure how the 311 office is, you know, the operations these days, but we're hearing some frustrations that residents have called.
Mhm.
Get a lot of resolution, even though, of course, you know, we're told to call that number.
Sure. So the way that the 311 system work is you call, we have a great team answering the phones. They then take your 311, information, and they then send it to the department it corresponds to. So if it's a constituent issue, they'll send it to the mayor's office, and that's when the community liaison reaches out to you all. If it's, a DPW issue, a DOMI issue, it gets sent to them. So that's why it's always great to hold on to that ticket number, because if you call 311 back, or if you call our office, we're able to look at the back end of 311 and see what the status of that issue that you're calling in for is. Sometimes obviously they take longer if it's something, depending on what it is really.
Got it. I think I'm just sharing that the public perception right now of 311 being helpful is maybe not the best.
So in what ways is it not helpful specifically, just to understand?
Public safety issue.
Sam, I'm going to turn the camera so you can see.
Sure. Hi, Sam.
Sam is saying that he has had a 311 ticket in, and he's called multiple times for over 5 weeks, and he has not gotten any response. So 5 weeks seems like a long enough time period to get, at least some sort of follow-up. And I have heard from other neighbors that there have been similar issues with that.
Sure. So in regards to follow-up, that is not our 311's team's job to do follow-ups. It's the department's. So that's why it's important to look up the status of the 311 to see, have they even started on the project or issue? Have they even reached out? Is it completed but hasn't been notified to the constituent?
Right, and I totally understand the process of 311 and how it's referred to a department. I think some of the frustration here is that, the 311 team, whether or not they pass it along, it seems like there's a missing link in the system if again, folks aren't hearing back, whether it's 311 specifics, fault, or a department, a team. I think it sounds like, and it sounds like there are some issues with that. I will happily follow up with Sam, and I will forward his information to you so you can look up his ticket specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I have access to the back end, so I can look up the status of each ticket.
Can I jump in on that real quick?
Absolutely.
If there's a continual issue that you're seeing, whatever it may be, public safety, trash not being picked up, whatever the issue is, and you in the community are putting in your 311 tickets and you're not seeing anything being addressed, that's when it would be really helpful to reach out to the councilman's office as well, because we can, same with Lindsay, we can look up the status on the back end, but also help with bubbling that up to the right department and pushing that to become the priority. Our office does meet with DPW and DOMI on a regular basis. So issues that are seemingly consistently unaddressed, that would be great for us to know, that we can bring those up on those individual meetings with the directors of those departments.
Great. I'm happy to copy you on my follow-up email to Lindsay then, Julianne, so you can weigh in too.
Awesome. That'd be great. Thank you.
Also, one last thing to that part is, if you've already been in contact with someone in that department or with the councilman, letting us know that so we know who to reach out to directly. It helps just cutting down, the steps instead of starting the entire process over.
Absolutely. Morgan.
Hopefully you all can hear me. This could be a question for the mayor's office or Councilman Wilson's office. So when we, as a board of the neighborhood, have talked to the mayor.
I'm sorry, you cut out. I can't hear you anymore.
I'll have her come up. We have a microphone, but she's in.
Sorry. Okay. So as the neighborhood and the Trail Citizens Board have talked to the mayor's office and have talked to Wilson's office about Cali Rec Center, one of the things that we had been told a couple months ago was that the plan for the remaining American Rescue Plan funds, of which Cali used to have 6 million, now has 2 million and some, that those American Rescue Plan funds, not just those, but as a whole, might be discussed in June of this year, so this month,
Mhm.
reallocation. And so, you know, I didn't see it, for example, on the agenda for council this week, but I'm just curious if either of you know if that is still likely to be the case, that the use of those funds might be rediscussed and might be moved at some time this month.
I personally don't know specifics on that. Maybe Julianne does.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're speaking of, but I don't have any information or haven't heard that that is something that's going to be brought to council to discuss the use of those funds that have already been allocated.
Right, I know, we were told that it was possible that as
Who, do you know who you got that information from? Just so I know, where we're getting that.
Mohammed Bernie asked us to be aware of that was a
Oh,
possibility.
okay, Mohammed told you. Okay, I mean, I can certainly follow up within our office just to see what the status is, if that's something that's going to happen.
Yeah, I want us to be, the last time that we lost funding for that project, it happened incredibly quietly.
Mhm.
I didn't know about it until I looked at the reports that were published months later. So if there was going to be a conversation anywhere in the city offices, I would just ask that we are aware of it so that we can have that space and that time to advocate for ourselves so we don't lose the rest of the American Rescue Plan funding for that project.
Right, yeah, valid. Okay, I'll follow up.
Thank you, Morgan. Thanks for stepping up here. We have a little wireless mic and it does an okay job, but it's not, the peak of technology. So, any other questions for either Councilman Wilson's team or Lindsay from the mayor's office? Justin.
So on the corner of Gardner and Troy Hill Road, there was a four-way stop that got implemented.
Yeah.
And people are still blowing through it. It's probably locals who driving through.
Yep.
Is there any way there could be like some sort of sign that says like new traffic pattern or anything like that? Because every morning we walk the dogs and just see people just blowing through it.
Right.
Like I understand why they put a four-way stop up there, it's extra safety, but
Yeah.
if there's any way that could happen, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Did you folks hear that? Or would you like me to reiterate?
I heard Gardner. Is it Gardner?
Right at the top of Troy Hill Road, near the Old North Catholic / Provident Charter School, and Frank's Pizza. There's an intersection Gardner and, well, I guess it's Troy Hill Road and Lowry. The city put in a four-way stop. We were all surprised. I think they just showed up one day. There has been, some safety issues, but I think some neighbors are maybe missing the stop sign because it's new. So the request is to put up maybe signage that says new traffic pattern or to please be aware of stop. We can talk about if there's, maybe perhaps if there's any sort of enforcement we want to do. But that if we bring a cop out, they're going to stop everybody. So then everybody has to be prepared to get a ticket. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So just making sure that people are aware of this new four-way stop. Okay.
So I mean, I'll be honest, the first 2 days I blew through it myself, but
I never saw it. I never saw it.
Yes, it's a very new development. I saw on Facebook, everybody had lots of thoughts about the new four-way stop. I think from a safety perspective, I know that they're going to be doing work on Chestnut Street in Spring Garden. And so we may see more traffic through Troy Hill in the next year or two. I don't know if that has any correlation to it. That's pure speculation on my part. However, I think also, did someone want to weigh in on that? No? Okay, just to make sure I wasn't speaking out of turn. Anyway, yes, we will follow up on that. We're gonna get some signage for that. Any other questions, issues for either the councilman's office or the city at this particular juncture?
If not, I'll just go ahead and share some announcements I have for you all. So like, our pools are going to be open this summer, but we always want to make sure that they're open more days in the week or all of the days throughout the week. So again, we're still accepting lifeguard applications. One doesn't have to be certified. You get that through the training. The wage did go up this year, so that's always a great plus. You can look at our City of Pittsburgh website to see which pool is the closest one to you. And then we also wanted to remind everyone that the farmers markets have started up. They're going to be open until November. And so again, depending on where you are in the city, Squirrel Hill is on Sundays, East End Mondays, Carrick Wednesdays, and Northside on Fridays. So, enjoy, a nice little hour at the farmers market and get something really nice and fresh for you and your family. We also want to let you know that there is a basic mobility pilot survey going around the city. Participants will, once they complete the survey, will be able to get up to $180 to participate. The goal of this study is to understand how increased access to transportation might improve people's living, being able to get place to place, place A to place B. And again, this is something that you'll be getting transportation for free for an entire year. All the information I'm sharing tonight, I'll send to Abby online, so you all have access to it and it's just easier to find. And then, of course, the URA has a home ownership program in case any of you are interested in, learning a little bit more about that or have someone in mind. Feel free to share with them that information. That's really it. When it comes to the city, the mayor just announced a new initiative called City in the Streets. You might have heard of it. It's bringing city departments to the streets of Pittsburgh. Sometimes it's hard to understand what each department does, specifically because they're so complex. So this is an opportunity for the departments to go out to your block and really not only explain a little bit more of what they do, but they also are able to help you hands-on there. So if you're looking for a permit, if you're wanting to let them know about a pothole, it's a great time to do that. The next one, we had our first one in Marshall Shadeland last month, and it was a really great success. It was about 200 people. The next one is in Garfield on Wednesday, the 28th. It's open to everyone. We're really hoping it's going to be a really big success, and we're really excited to, again, be able to interact and just have a good time with the community. Again, that's Wednesday, June 28th, from 5:30 to 7:30. It's going to be on Penn Avenue and North Pacific Avenue.
Great. We can share that on our social media and in our newsletter. And if you want to send me any links after the meeting, I will have those.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. I want to skip over now to Lisa, who is joining us to talk about some student loan programs that the county has. So I'm gonna let Lisa speak here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Abby, for having me at your meeting. And hello, everybody. My name is Lisa Makovsky. I am the BH Fellows Program Lead at Allegheny County Department of Human Services. The BH Fellows Program is a brand new workforce initiative that the county has launched this spring, and it is behavioral health fellows. So the goal of the program is to help stabilize the behavioral health workforce in the county at providers that provide behavioral health and mental health services to people on Medicare. So people who are, very vulnerable, most vulnerable folks in our communities. And in doing that, we're also making sure that the staff that is in these eligible roles with participating providers like Western Psych and Pittsburgh Mercy, Southwood Psychiatric Hospital, there's about 10 specific providers that are participating in the program. If the staff in the eligible roles stay for a minimum of 2 years in these full-time positions, they're eligible for benefits such as student loan repayment funds, up to $25,000 for a bachelor's degree or up to $45,000 for a master's degree. If there's if they don't have either a master's or a bachelor's and they have an associate's degree, there are positions for associate's degrees as well. And the high school or associate's degree positions, they get free access to professional certificates through CCAC. There are minimum salary requirements that the employer has to meet for these eligible roles. And there is also paid time away from work for professional training and professional development in a cohort model that's being done by Jewish Healthcare Foundation here in Pittsburgh. And the supervisors will be getting paid time away for training, professional training through Smeal College of Business at Penn State. Then those trainings will be done here in Pittsburgh as well. We're taking applications now for our third cohort, which the deadline for those applications is July 15th. We have a web page up on the DHS website, and I can put that address in the chat. And I can also put in the chat the email address for folks who have any questions at all about the application process. We have Q&As scheduled, so folks can just jump on if they're interested and have any questions about applying to the program. There's a lot of information on the web page, as far as the eligible roles, what loans are that qualify, which ones don't qualify. We have loans that qualify, can be private, can be federal, can be consolidated. So it's a brand new program and wonderful benefits. And we're really at this point, getting the word out to everybody. We really want folks to ask us questions and see if it's something that they would be interested in. If they're not interested, maybe a family member, maybe a friend. So it's just the main thing is getting the word out and getting folks to apply and ask us questions. Thank you, Abby.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Can you drop the link in the chat? We will happily share
Sure.
as well.
Do that now. Let's see.
Anybody have any questions about this program? Anybody online? Have you-
Let's see. Trying to
I
look
know
at the
that's hard to find as well. I
VHS stuff.
think we're good to go. That's great. Thank you so much for coming. Very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. And so I've got the link for the program in the chat. And then as far as BH fellows, and then right, fellows, and then this is the email I'm putting in. People want to, so BH fellows at J. So that's those two. So that's the web page and then the contact for questions about applications. So thank you again, and everyone have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Hopefully someone from Zone 1 is on. I thought I saw Officer DeFeo earlier, but I think he jumped off. Anybody from Zone 1 on at the moment? Okay. Lindsay and I think actually, yeah, Julianne, I think this is something that we might need your help with since I don't see anybody from Zone 1. I will follow up via email. But we have some neighbors who have had some issues with drug activity in Troy Hill. Specifically, I believe there was a medical incident near the laundromat / Unimart in Troy Hill. I think there's some active open air transactions taking place. I think there are some other neighbors. Did I miss anything in that? Is there other hotspots?
No, it is. The area of concern, as I've heard it right now, is the laundromat, and not just activity around the laundromat, but dealing actually happening out of the back room of the laundromat.
Interesting. So yeah, laundromat seems to be the hotspot, including potentially inside the laundromat, like in like an employee or a locked, a storage area in the back. I'm gonna follow up with our Zone 1 folks via email since I don't see them on the call tonight. And I will copy both of you. I think this is something that we usually see this happen as summer hits and people are outside more often, but it seems to have escalated a little bit by the laundromat. So we'd love to get some attention on that.
There was a drug bust last night.
What was that?
Supposedly a drug bust last night.
Oh, was there?
Some activity up there, yes.
Okay, whereabouts?
Right at the laundromat.
Right at the laundromat. Oh, great. Maybe Zone 1 has.
So that's hearsay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments about any potential illegal activities going on in Troy Hill?
Yeah, Tammy's bar.
Tammy's?
I would just come in here real quickly.
Yeah, okay, well-
I could smell it.
We'll add that to the follow-up email. Unfortunately, this time of year, like I said, in summer, a lot of times, people are outside their homes, hanging out, doing things. This is where we see it. We kind of see it in the streets. Lenore, I think I just saw you unmute yourself. Do you want to add to that? No. Okay. Okay. Anything else on that particular topic?
I've been going to the laundromat for 3 years.
Mhm.
Here, been a resident for almost 10 now. It's not just warmer weather. It happens in the winter as well.
So it's inside, like year round.
There
Okay.
are times where I'll just go sit in my car, go sit at the park because I don't want to be in the vicinity of the company there. It makes me uncomfortable. And I'm sure I'm not the only one.
I'm sure you're not. That's great feedback because I go to the Unimart, but I'm walking past. I'm not usually in the laundromat. I will add that into my note to the Zone 1 folks. It's great call out. Anything else to add on that topic? Okay. All right, let me look at the rest of my list here. And we're gonna move on to some Troy Hill updates. First of all, the firehouse down at the corner of, what would you call that? Lowry and Lay, the monument. So if you might recall from previous meetings, Wildman Chalmers, the design firm in Troy Hill, is working with the URA to redevelop that building. They are in the process right now of going through financing. So the URA has a long process. They actually just had their 3rd board meeting where they were approved. And part of this, post approval at this 3rd board meeting, they're having an appraisal done, and their bank is basically gathering all the details together for financing. Once that happens, Wildman Chalmers and the bank take that back to the URA to show their packet of money, basically. The URA will have another board meeting, a 4th board meeting, and then at that point, the sale can be approved. And so the sale, the property is being transferred and be sold to Wildman Chalmers with the intent for them to develop it. The development has changed in the course of the last year and a half that we've talked about this. There is a component of some sort of food or grocery yet to be determined. There was a vendor who was interested in being in that spot early on during the initial review process with the URA. That vendor is no longer in the picture, but Wildman Chalmers is still planning to develop that. Don from Scratch is consulting on this project as a food vendor himself in the neighborhood, and he is looking, and we collectively, I think as a neighborhood, if we feel strongly about a grocery being there, in the next couple months, you're probably going to hear a lot more about that. It's going to take sort of community support and activism, I think, to find the right solution for what that space is. The good news is, again, this is something that we as neighbors and community members have some control over and some say over. Wildman Chalmers is a developer. They're going to be basically leasing the building to whoever occupies that space. So we get to kind of, again, work with Wildman Chalmers to find the right solution to be in that space. I think at this point, again, with Don's expertise and some of his connections we have some leads we're pursuing in terms of bringing a grocery to the neighborhood. It's not going to be a big box grocery store. It might be something, more along the lines of a market. We don't have any business plans yet, of course, because it's not fully formed. But the tap house, I know we talked about a tap house being there before. The tap house is currently not on the docket. I know that people were discussing, the feasibility of that, versus hours and this, that, and the other. So that's the update as of right now. Basically, Wildman Chalmers is still pursuing, the purchase of the building, still planning to develop it. It will have some sort of grocery market downstairs. The usage and configuration of which is yet to be determined. Yes, Lindsay.
One thing I was just curious about is if we could pull like Victoria's Dairy into the conversation, because they're very cute and very sweet and have been here for a very long time. And they do have some grocery items. It's definitely not on the scale that we were looking at originally, but they are somebody who's been providing some groceries to the neighborhood.
That's a great call out.
Talking about the market option.
I love that idea. Great point, especially because they've been in the community already. We certainly don't want to trot on anybody else's business. It may be an opportunity to enhance their business, depending on the offerings. So I will add that to the list for Don and Wildman Chalmers. Sounds great. Other questions about the firehouse? Timeline, whether or not it's haunted. I've heard it's haunted.
Upstairs,
Just the upstairs. That's also hearsay. Shouldn't say that.
Oh, did they have another, the tap house is off the table, but was there another idea?
So I think the idea, so with the tap house off the table at the moment, Wildman and Chalmers honestly is looking for a space, is looking for a partner that's going to be in the space, that's going to provide some sort of grocery options, again, since that seems to be highly prized by the neighborhood. I don't know if the plan is for the whole space or not. I think, again, that's up for debate. There's a potential for co-ownership or co-occupancy in that case if we do find another business. I'm not privy to the details on the tap house situation, but I think like something like that would go along with, you know, a grocery, so people could come by, have a drink, and then grab their groceries and go, seems actually pretty cool. Janet's like, no, forget it.
Let the restaurant have an alcohol next door.
That's true, absolutely, you could see, but I think like that conversation is kind of yet in front of us. I think the Wildman Chalmers is working to secure that funding for the URA and actually buy the building. And then as Wildman Chalmers are in the process of kind of developing out that space, we'll be kind of involved in looking for the next step for the interior. Anybody online have any questions? Okay, on to the next thing. Oops, wrong mouse. Our next cleanup will be Sunday, June 25th from 10 a.m. to noon. You can join us in Troy Hill Citizens Park. You can also pick up on your own, just use it as a moment to, you know, collect trash around your house. We usually provide some trash grabbers, some bags, etc. Thank you also to our community yard sale attendees. That seems like it was already ages ago, but we had a great time. Lots of people in Troy Hill. David's not here tonight, but he and his wife Stephanie over on Rialto Place put that idea together. We've heard a lot of feedback, a lot of great feedback. That event will definitely come back next year in May, so make a mental note, spring cleaning next year, sell all your stuff, get it out of the house. And then let's see, our membership cards are available. They're $10 if you want to be a Troy Hill member for the year. It's for the calendar year. It supports things like the yard sale, covering operating costs, etc. So thank you for anybody who has supported this year. Last but not least, we do have a community meeting. Our next community meeting is going to be August 9th. It's a Wednesday. So please mark your calendars. And we will, I'm sure, have some more updates on some of these projects at that point. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Anything they want to add to the meeting at this point? Yes.
We had, I'm sorry.
No, it's all you.
I wasn't looking up. I believe last time we had a meeting, it was brought up by the owner of the empty lot at Sunderman and Coors.
The one right down here with the tree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone was,
yes.
Someone mentioned that there were talks going on.
So I have a contact for that person. I think the question is like what the ask is. Like, do we want him to host like a cleanup event? Like,
well,
we have,
no,
like,
I mean,
like what's the
with the tree, but you know, that's water under the bridge. Now, it just usually gets to be probably about 3 or 4 feet tall weeds before they finally do anything with it. And I mean, there's so much trash accumulated because that's just the go-to, you know, you can't see it because it's...
So I have an idea. Why don't I invite the person to the next cleanup on the 25th? We'll see if
you said you have a contact.
I have an email address for the person who owns that lot, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have, I mean, apparently the tax bill is someone in Virginia.
Oh, is it? Oh, I have not, I don't know where this person, I don't know where this person is
Maybe they
located or
have
anything.
someone here that maintains.
I mean, they
for
must,
them.
because someone has to cut the grass, right? Like someone.
Right. And I actually was gonna call 311.
I mean, you should file a
And I
anyway.
took pictures and the very next day someone came. I was like, oh, I hope they didn't take pictures. I don't want to be targeted.
I mean, it's, you're in
but I
public
mean, it's
place.
just so trash, you know.
Yeah, that's a great point. I will reach out to that person via email and invite them to the cleanup, and we'll see if we can get some FaceTime with them. In the meantime, if things get bad, I think you should 311 it. Absolutely. Yeah. Any other comments, thoughts, questions, concerns? So I feel kind of bad because we're kind of ahead of schedule, and Erin Tobin from the Parks Conservancy was going to come and give us an update on her Riverview project. So I think, unless she's on, Erin, are you on anywhere? I don't think I see you. Let's see if she emailed. Okay, well, she's not here at the moment, so I don't want to keep anybody unnecessarily. We're gonna wrap up. If I get that information from her, I will pass it out via the newsletter and social media. Thank you for coming and have a great night.
Hey,
Thank
Abby,
you. Good night.
Yes,
can I get your number just to be in contact with you?
I'll put it in the chat. I don't care if you.
All right, perfect. Thank you.